the new rebranding of Fazari to ARI, plus their latest super light electric mountain bike, the Nebo Peak. We're gonna analyze the specs and pricing so you can make a better decision on your new e-bike purchase. Welcome to Frankie's eMTB channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to go over one of my favorite brands, formerly known as Fazari bikes, now rebranded as ARI bikes, and we have a new format going forward with the specs and pricing. I'm just gonna go live in real time and check out the specs and the website and to give you guys my first-hand reaction. So I hope everyone that is looking to purchase these bikes will find this video helpful. So with that said, let's dive right in and check out the website from ARI. So let's log in and see. Let's check out the website. And a whole brand new website from ARI, which is pretty cool. I love the design of the new logo. I love the aesthetics. And it just makes the Fazari into ARI much smaller, much simpler, much easier to recognize as a brand. Not that Fazari isn't easy to recognize, but ARI just makes things a lot more simpler. I like the new colors. Very, very cool. ARI has it going. You know, they're doing some really cool stuff with the rebranding. Just looking at that shot, that is Kyle Strait and Rachel Strait, their new ambassadors. They're bringing on some very, very cool people to the brand, and Fazari wasn't like this, you know, a few years back, and they're doing a good job, really, really good job. And I always like them because they do a really good job with their specs and pricing. So with that said, let's check out the Nebo Peak. This Nebo Peak right here. Two colors to choose from. One two-tone gray and white. The other one is dune red. Let's see, that one is white gold and then dune red. There you go, those two colors right there. And the Nebo Peak, 140 millimeters, 150 millimeter travel, a true trail bike. 29 inches, full carbon, which they're all really good. Especially that full carbon, I give that A grade because, you know, that's just full carbon, full light, and starting at $4,999, which is pretty damn awesome for an e-bike, you know, $4,999. Let's see what this is all about. This shot right here, this landing page for the Nebo Peak looks super nice, and that shot right there reminds me of the 2023 TRD Pro colors. If you got a TRD Pro, this might be the color you want on the back of your bike rack, because that will look very nice with your TRD Pro, whatever you're driving. I know our good friend Brandon has a TRD Pro Sequoia, so check out this bike, man. It looks pretty sick if you're watching this video. They've got the colors down, and that two-tone color reminds me of that color that Specialized did, which is very cool. Very nice looking, very sleek. The bike itself is a looker. It looks really, really nice. I love how the lines just come down. It feels compact. It feels like you can like send this bike, and this bike just feels like you can handle it. It's like, how do you say it? It's really easy to handle bike just from the looks of it, and it looks aggressive. I like it. I like it very much. Let's look at the details, and let's check out the geometry first. Let's see what this bike is all about, because from when I tested before on the 10 Peak, they had very, very short chainstays, and it was super easy to pop around. So let's check out what they have on the geometry. The GA link, obviously, the link allows you to adjust short and long, and that changes the dynamics of the geometry. So let's take a look at what we have in terms of the long. And the first thing I always like to check is the chainstay, and chainstay always determines how poppy and how much playful this bike can be. So let's see, on the short, it is 434.6 long, $439. I would say for a short travel bike, for a trail bike, $434 is right there. Not extremely short, but still just really playful with the 434 chainstay. Head tube angle at 65 degrees. 65 degrees is a good angle for a trail bike. You want it to be nimble. 64.5, a little bit slacker. So, you know, for those that want a little bit slacker head angle, that 64.5 is pretty good for a trail bike. And I love the adjustability. It is very awesome. Different places have different ride styles, so you know, depending on where you live, you might want to adjust your head angle at 64.5 with, you know, steeper stuff. Vice versa, if you live in a place with a lot of climbs and switchbacks and stuff, you want your head angle to probably at 65. And let's check out the reach. So reach, I think I have this at long. Yes, I have that at long. 449 millimeters of reach. I think my turbo level is at 450 for an S3. So I like that 450 reach, and for a large is at 474. I've ridden 474. You're a little bit more hunched over, but it's still doable depending on what you like to ride. And for me, I like to pop around when I can, just because it just feels fun to pop around. So having a reach that's closer, it's easier for me to stand upright. With longer reaches, I find for people who just like to choose straight lines and not really pop a lot, you know, 474 is a good, like for a medium size, I guess 474 would be a little bit long, but 450 is perfect for me for a medium size. Short, that would be 455. Very good. Wheelbase, 1,211. Not too long, not too short, just really good length for wheelbase. Enough to tackle steep stuff and enough to, you know, be good on the climbs with a C-tube angle at 77.5. All of the good stuff. Nothing seems very out of tune, and it's just modern bike geometry, that all the numbers, all the specs here are made so that, you know, when you go out riding, you're gonna feel good on the trails. All right, enough of the geometry. Let's move on to the specs. Got 4 levels. I did take a look at some of the 4 levels, but for our purposes today, I think we're just gonna do the comp, elite, and the pro, and we'll give them a rating because the Team Peak is at a $10,000 price range and up. And for viewers here, we're looking at value and what you can get out of the value. If, you know, we want to decide which level, which tier is right for you. So we're just going to do the first 3. Starting with the comp, the sale price is at $5,999. Very, very good price for what you're getting. The regular price is $6,199. You're at $6,000. That's just $6,200. And let's see what you'll be getting, and then we'll give that price a grade at the end. But let's take a look at the fork. So the fork, DVO Diamond D1, 29-inch, 150 millimeter travel. Really good fork from DVO. The Diamond D1 is a 35 millimeter stanchion. The Onyxes come with the 36 and a 38. Diamond D1 is 35 millimeter and has all of the adjustments, the OTT, the bladder, the spring in there. It has all of those adjustments that you want. And honestly, I've been a fan of DVO since I put my DVO shocks on, and because they feel really good and they feel really plush, and the way that DVO rides, it's not any inferior to Fox or RockShox. All right, they feel really, really good. So for a fork at this entry level price, $5,999 plus the rear shock is a DVO Topaz Gen 3. I give both of these an A for $5,999, right? Moving on to the drivetrain. Drivetrain right here, the Shimano SLX 12-speed. I would, if I'm picky, I would say, hey, how come we weren't spec'd with an XT, or how come we didn't get a GX? Come on, it's wired, right? So let's stick to wired and have an XT or a GX wired, so we don't have to want to upgrade an SLX to an XT or have to upgrade an X to a GX. With that said, I'll give this a drivetrain a B because I'm nitpicking. Not to say SLX isn't good. It's good. It's just I'm nitpicking. All right, we give that a B. Let's move on to the wheels. The DT Swiss M1900 splines, 28 hole, very light aluminum wheels. DT Swiss has always been a good brand. They have good hubs. I believe these, let's see if they give us the hub. The hubs are DT Swiss 370, sealed bearings, ratchet system. It's a good set of wheels with good hubs. A lot of the entry-level specs, especially wheels, are just like house brands. They, you know, like Specialized does that, Trek does that. They're just house branded wheels, which means it's not a third-party wheel. It's straight from the manufacturer, and they just put like a Specialized logo or like a Trek logo on there. But ARI definitely put DT right up there in front. Just a good overall wheel. I will give this an A. Moving on to the brakes, TRP Slate Evos. If you've ever ridden TRP brakes, you know they're like a child of Sram and Shimano. So TRP is like right in the middle. It has modulation and it'll bite. So it's like the best of both worlds. So in the fact that they spec TRP onto their, I give it an A. It's a good brake overall. It is not cheap. It's really good. I really love what Fazari is doing. They're not just giving you something random and say, hey, you might have to upgrade this, or that it's not going to be enough if you start. If you're like a hardcore shredder, certain brakes are just you have to switch, right? If you're a hardcore shredder, certain forks or certain shocks, you're just going to have to take out. But as of now, the DVO Diamond, the Topaz Gen 3, the brakes, the drivetrain, if you get this package, as of now, you won't have to spend a penny more for this thing to start, for this bike to shred. Again, the drive unit, of course, is the Fazua Ride 60 Newton meters of torque, which puts this really not at a super light bike, but it's like a mid-drive, it's like a mid-powered bike, right? 60 Newton meters with 430 watt-hour battery. Going down the list, handlebars, 35 millimeter bar. Oof. For me personally, I like 31.8. 35 is a little bit harsh for me. I can't give it a grade because everyone has their own preferences to what they want to ride. I personally would go 31.8 just because I can get a little bit of compliance out of the bars. Seat post, Transex seat post is a good seat post because from me talking to a lot of people from Taiwan in the industry, Transex makes dropper seat posts for P&W, and that's what I know. So the internals, if you're a fan of P&W, the Transex is definitely something that you can pick up. It's just a cheaper version of just a cheaper unbranded version of a P&W dropper post. Tires, let's see, Maxxis Dissector 229 2.4 EXO Plus and Dissector 29 2.4 double down in the rear. Looking at that, they want this bike to roll fast because Dissectors are a fast rolling tire. EXO Plus in the front with DD in the rear. Yes, I agree with the double down in the rear. It's needed. Like from where I live, Southern California or in Utah, double down going through rock gardens, if you don't have double downs, you're gonna slash something. Utah is like that. Southern California is like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of places have pointy, rocky terrain. You need double downs. But double Dissectors, they want this bike to be rolling very, very fast. Overall, let's say out of the box shreddability, a new term, I give this an A because the DVO suspension, fork, shock, the tires. Those are like the primary things that if you went with the lower spec, you would probably would say, hey, you know, I don't feel 100% confident going down some of the things with this fork at speed, all right? But with the DVO suspension setup that they have here, definitely you can take this out and just full send. There's nothing on this spec that you can't full send. So, which comes back, overall, out of the box, shreddability is an A. So with all the specs given, I give this an A grade. You know, for people who want to save a little bit of cash and have a little bit of remaining cash for the rest of your gear, whatever gear that you need, helmet, glasses, all that stuff, pedals, whatever, right? $5,099 for a super light, latest Fazua motor with all that DVO stuff. That's just a killer deal. It's hard to beat that. So let's move on to the Nebo Peak Elite. Regular price on this one is $7,299, and it's on sale for $6,999. Again, we'll give that grade at the end after looking at all the components. Straight off, looking at the components, looking at the fork, it is a RockShox Lyric Select Plus. Okay, so the RockShox Lyric Select Plus RC2 Charger 3 is an excellent fork. You know, as far as I know, I did a little research. The Lyric Select Plus has all the latest dampers that RockShox offers, but they don't have the Buttercup system. But with that said, even though 4 years ago, the Lyric Plus Select was the ultimate without the Buttercups, and that was a premier fork. So this being spec'd in the mid-tier, you know, it's a great spec. So I give this an A. I am confident it rides really well. So now looking at the rear shock, it is the Super Deluxe Ultimate rear shock, and it is like one of the plushest systems. I've ridden Nathan's bike with that, and it just feels extremely good. Also an A. Moving on to the drivetrain, it is a Sram GX Eagle transmission, 12-speed, the new. The GX transmission just came out, what, last year? And it's already feeling like it's everywhere, and it's already in the GX series. And this is a what, $6,999 spec with a transmission like the latest and best from SRAM. I have to give that an A. That's a lot of spec for that price. DT wheels is the same as that first Nebo, it's the same as the comp. So I would give that a B. That would be the only thing that I'm nitpicking because there is no differentiation between the two tiers. So I give that a B. But even with that said, the DT Swiss wheels are still a good set of wheels. Brakes, they are TRP Trail Evos. They're not the DH Evos. Still, TRP makes some excellent brakes, and I'll give that another A. See if there's anything different. Same dropper post, really good dropper post. I give that an A. Tires, the same setup. And again, overall shreddability of this bike out of the box is an A. That doesn't seem like there's anything you want to spend more on this if you just buy this. Out of the box, rideability, shreddability is an A. At the regular price, $7,299. It is not cheap for a $7,000 bike, but you know, looking at all the stuff that you get, you have the top of almost everything, right? The latest technology, one of the best brakes, the best shock from RockShox, one of the best forks of the Lyric Select Plus is like the second best tier. So $7,299, I give that an A, and even at $6,999 introductory price, I give that an A+. It's good. Like, you get it, you don't need to get anything else. Let's look at the next tier, the Nebo Peak Pro, $7,999 and no introductory price. And let's look at what the components that are offering. For the fork, it's a RockShox Lyric Ultimate. Again, like I said earlier, that is the one with the Buttercups The rear shock is also a Super Deluxe Ultimate. Both of those I would give an A. Drivetrains, XO Ego transmission, 12-speed, A, because that is like, you know, just came out last year. It's not, it's still, it's new technology, you know, it just came out last year, so it is new technology. Wheels, DT Swiss XM 1700 spline series. It's their all mountain, little welded, I think it's welded aluminum rims instead of the sleeved. They're good sets. Again, DT Swiss makes good sets of wheels, reliable. So that I give an A. And for the brakes, they have the Sram Maven Silvers. I haven't ridden the Sram Maven Silvers, but their stopping power is like superb now. And they switch from DOT fluid to mineral oil fluid. So, you know, some people like it, some people don't like it, but it's the new. Like everything you get on this list is top tier new. And let's just keep moving down. Everything it looks, and dropper seat post, P&W loam dropper. I give that an A, and tires the same. So looking at the specs for the Pro at $7,999, I mean, just go out to Specialized, go out to Trek and Transition, all the bike companies out there, and you say, hey, you know, build me a bike that has Lyric Ultimates, Super Deluxe Ultimate, with the SRAM Mavens, with the GXO transmission, you know, carbon fiber frame at $7,999. They're gonna be like, you're crazy, you're out of your mind. We don't have a bike that's for you at that price. But ARI has done it, and I find ARI to, you know, have this exceptional awareness of consumer, of where they want to spend and how they want to spend and the price points. It's just like spectacular job from them. The specs coming out on each of the tiers, they're just ready to shred. There's like, you don't, like each tier you buy, you're set. There's nothing that you say, hey, that's not good enough. Like each tier is good enough for you to shred just any trail that you want to do. For those that you don't know, for Zari also, you can actually custom your order with Zari. Like say if you don't want the Fox stuff or you want more Fox stuff, you can just say, hey, you know, swap the Fox, put in the Fox stuff for me. I don't want the DVO, but put in a cheaper Fox stuff for me. They could do all that stuff. You just give them a call and they'll be able to customize it. For me, if I were to pick, if I wanted to choose a Nebo Peak today, I would go with the comp, because the DVO, the products that they offer are exceptional and they ride extremely well, extremely plush. There's a lot of tunability to the DVO suspension, compression, the rebound, the bladder, everything else to adjust your ride quality. But you know, if you look at some of the RockShox or some of the Foxes, if you go down the tier, there's like, oh, you can't adjust the compression, or there's only one rebound, or there's no high-low compression. There's a lot of things that, you know, with the lower tier Fox stuff and the RockShox stuff, you just can't adjust. But the DVO has it all on every single one of the forks and shocks, which is very impressive. I'm a fan of DVO stuff, and what ARI is doing with the DVO comp is just, with the comp build, with the DVO, it's like, that's where I would put my money in, you know, so just, you know, take my money, I guess. I'll be at Sea Otter this year, and hopefully we'll get a test ride in on the Nebo Peak there, and I'll definitely do a ride review, first impression review for that bike, so hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. Use my affiliate links in this video's description to purchase any of the components that we've talked about in this video. All purchases will directly help this channel. I get a little bit of commission from the sale from Jensen or Worldwide Cyclery with no cost to you, so any bit will help this channel. That is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this new format. And with that, hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And as always, stay electric. Peace.